Somnus.
Something.
The arrow.
So that rotation though, it did cost them their mid lane tower. So maybe definitely recognizing what he wants to do. Every time the Meepo goes to the jungle, goes to the rotation, pressure it, and always go invade the jungle.
What on lane, Boba? There's some bashes here. Get one of them. Get anything more out of it? Doesn't look like he can. We'll let Victoria go. But this is true, you know, you say about getting the space in the mid lane. They're also now getting the space on the top lane. You know, LGD taking towers. Same time DC are down on the bottom. They're looking for the tier 1 trade. And at the moment, looks like they should get it. Indeed, they'll take that tower down.
Last hit though. See if Ahmed is able to get the top last hit comparison. Oh, 11 snatch. That's going to get him closer to Blink Dagger. And like we mentioned, that is the big team fight for LGD.
Yeah, absolutely. LGD have this Magnus ready to strike at this stage. It's going to be hard for DC to react.
Victoria charged up only level 3. He'll be able to get punished here very easily with the rotation. Howl used as well.
Bash will do it. They don't even need the dash bar, that's going forever. It's the kill. Towards top, 2v. Quick to make sure that Somnus doesn't grab himself. The recap room. Still, Arbet, this is what we sort of talked about in the draft. The fact that this Meepo, whatever goes on in the game, is going to find his farm. 10 minutes in, well on the way to the Diffusal Blade. Only a few hundred gold away from having it. I mean, a 10-11 minute Diffusal Blade on a Meepo, it's going to be so disruptive. If he gets involved in the fights and he can rely on Dubu, that howl from Mason to keep him alive, it's crazy. It's going to be so hard for LGD to just deal with this incredibly stacked early game Meepo.
Still, the team fight is favorable to LGD. When the Magnus, he's going to have a super fast blink, 200 gold away from that one. And as we're looking at maybe, as we see what item he queues up, he has actually a Yule set queued up on the Mirana. So more setup for himself, also some type of save, so he doesn't have to deal with getting chain netted, chain bashed up, and actually have some type of save potential from that.
Yeah, but certainly not in terms of offering the highest damage and fighting potential. You know, we see obviously the Mirana mainly go for that sort of physical build, getting their diffusals, the Maelstrom and such. So it's certainly going to be putting the damage output on a bit of a hold from him. I guess they can definitely look towards Arme from packing the real punch in this fight. He's nearly got the armlet done, and obviously with the Empower as well. Still a lot that can come out from LGD if they get the catch.
That's like the cool thing. It's like they had trades going off, so DC made the trade going off where they wanted 4F to build the pressure to CK and get some farm, while they allow 11 to, of course, get that farm top. But the issue with that is now he's going to have high levels of Empower and an early Blink Dagger for their team fight. So not only do they have great team fight, but when the lull is happening, when there's not really fights happening, that CK can just accelerate his growth of that power much quicker. Because like Sean, like Day9 mentioned on the panel, you know, CK can't suffer.
I'm interested to see who makes the first move, whether it be a DC looking to utilize Arbet's Diffusal Blade, or Levin's going to make a go with this Blink Dagger AC.
DC could try to force pressure, like not the next nighttime, but the one afterwards, and maybe go for a sneak Roche. The Lycan and the Meepo with the Vlads on Lycan can actually get it brought down incredibly fast. We actually just see, I think Abed just pinned out that Roche area, and we see LGD's actually already shooting arrows in there, kind of expecting something to happen. The very deep aggressive wards from LGD to watch when 4F was farming and anything that's going on in DC's jungle. But for the time being, very quiet. Dubu very far stepped up now though. Looks like he's going to be able to get blocked down in rotations.
Getting the wrap around, and indeed no chance for the Dazzle here with 3 of LGD closing in. Somnus to pick up the kill will give him enough gold to finish off that Yule Scepter. And they certainly may look for more. Having that Blink Dagger ready in the waiting on 11.
So rule of thumb for us with the Meepo, usually about 1 level per minute, and Abed's keeping up actually ahead of that, so almost level 14 now at the 12-minute mark. Once he gets that Blink Dagger, they can start to put a lot of aggressive, because he's kind of like their team fighter in a way, as the Meepo, because he's so accelerated.
Yeah, this is definitely the scary thing for LGD. You know that if you ask Abed now how happy he is with his early 12 minutes of this game, he's going to say this is perfect. Yeah. Sure, he suffered a little bit in the CS very early on, but that's not showing at all now. A clear 1,000, almost ahead of Somnus on the overall net worth, top of the board at the moment in this game. This Meepo is going to be terrifying if LGD cannot take him out of the fight to begin with.
They keep checking that Roche. They're very afraid of it. Throwing arrows constantly every time he sees off the map.
Yao, and indeed straight away there's the jump. Full turn with a Hex onto Forev, but Yao not to survive this. Bulba gets the bash. DC keeping control in terms of kills. Still overall net worth very even across the map because of the fact that 11 has been doing so well on this off-lane Magnus.
Yeah, similar kind of pickups there, right? Yao dies, but Yao at least places his Mass Serpent Wards into the tower. While he was backing up, he got picked up. Dubu, of course, died bottom earlier. So those 5 supports getting picked off a little bit as expected when the map just becomes, this kind of farm war.
And definitely, when it does become this farm war, well, the biggest discrepancy is always going to be the difference, isn't it, between 11 and Forev.
Yes.
Because without fights, this Queen of Pain, Forev's going to suffer in this sort of passive moment. There's not a lot that he can really do. Whilst the rest of his team farms up, he needs to try and get involved in some sort of action. They do not have the blink on Arbed as well as the defusal, so DC, I'm sure if they see an opportunity, DC will take the fight. At the moment, it's just avoiding each other, going for the tier 2 trades. Looks like both teams on track to get this. Either having a chance to respond, maybe LGD can come back to hold this, but no, it looks like they're just going to accept that this one's going to return. And just the trading of towers and farm continues in this game. We've started to certainly hit a bit of a slope.
It's very even. 1,000 gold lead for LGD, 1,000 experience lead for DC, so it's pretty much exactly even at this point. That's of course the level discrepancy from T-Bone, but that's going to happen. But then you look at the next big 3. LGD is very high level on their rewards, 13, 12, and 10 on the Piranha, Mag, and CK respectively. And they actually make their own way into the pit with the CK reality over minus armor plus the Mass Serpent Wards. They have more than enough to bring this down quickly. And
DC are heading over slightly, but keeping the speed that this is going, can they actually contest it? Bulba has the control on the Night Stalker to the side of it, but LGD, they're going to easily be able to finish this off, grab the Aegis, now they jump forward, bring in Bulba, take down the Breaker as well as securing that Aegis into the hands of Arme.
That's a big problem. They've got the Blink Mag already too, they can start to pressure. I don't even know if they want to though. I don't think they actually feel like they need to. Go for a straight tower push, they can just force their lanes out and wait for DC to kind of come to them. They have this. They can probably wait a couple minutes until everybody's more healthy, and then they can reset when the lanes are better. They can actually make a full front siege with that Aegis.
And we see on Arbed as well, really valuing just the value of the stats on the defusal. I don't think he even used a single charge, but straight away upgrades it to that level 2 to get that very efficient boosted amount of value for the price that you're paying.
I'm pretty surprised to see him upgrade it with that better though. Now, if he does use all the charges, he has to buy a whole new one to refresh that stuff. But yeah, definitely just wanting that straight up sheer agility.
Here we go again. Bulba, he was ready to go. The rest of his team not quite positioned, ready to follow through behind him. Tension's high there in the booth, as we can see. He's got to keep his cool here. 7, but DC definitely not in a bad position at all. Arbed, as we continue to say, we're still yet to really see the potential of him in a fight, other than that one gank very early on down bottom.
Yeah. We still haven't seen, the RPs or anything. Yeah. A lot of the thing is that Mason's gonna have to put in a lot of work with his wolves. Once he gets that level 4 wolves, since he's actually, I think level 12 he doesn't have him yet. He went for the second once everything else. He has to be sure to scout them. That's just the important thing in the fights. If they don't know where that mag is, the RP could be devastating if they hit the meatball.
And worth noting as well, of course, Mason going for the build that we start to see fall a little bit of out of favor. Recently a lot of Lycans going back for the Necro Rush, but obviously having the flags absolutely perfect when you have this Vipo, something that Arbed's going to benefit off.
And he's playing versus CK with an Empower. So CK will build BKB, and with the Empower, he can just cleave down the Necro units and not care whatsoever. So wanting to have armor, that's what Mason's focus on this time around. Armor, armor, armor.
Here we go, actually, LGD now with the smoke. As it is, they've sort of past DC entirely. DC are actually in LGD's own jungle. See if LGD realise this anytime soon. They don't actually, by the looks of it, have any of their own wards in their own jungle. It's DC having full vision of LGD's half of the map there. LGD will simply reveal themselves, start to push down mid. The question is if Digital Chaos themselves can now get in a bit of a wraparound and catch LGD from behind. They're starting to move over, but it will be scanned out by LGD. LGD aware of this movement from Digital Chaos. Now they turn back towards them. Arrow straight away onto the Dazzle. Dubu does get the Grave off. We'll see what the rest of DC want to do. It looks like they will just accept the loss of the Dazzle and back away, not wanting to take this fight. Arbe gets a bit of pressure down on the bottom lane, does force LGD back. Instantly boosts Pax to join the rest of his team. Just a dazzle down. And in fact, still in the neighborhood, we may see more action happen. 11, he's going to get charged towards Yao as well by Bulba, who goes for a quick charge by. Looks towards trouble. Yeah, 11, he's going to be ready to punish this one. Jumps forward, skewers back the Space Cow. And Bulba there, maybe just creating space, trying to make sure that LGD didn't therefore jump in on any of the bigger members of Digital Chaos.
They've got view of Mason too with the Yule Scepter, more catch.
That's going to pay off massively if they get the kill, and indeed with the stun connection, there's no escape there for Mason. That Yule's pick up indeed from Somnus, maybe being the perfect item there for the catch.
Starting to get pretty concerned for DC. They have this super farm Meepo, so we can still give them that, of course, but the other two cores are starting to fall heavily far behind. Forev hasn't been given the chance to actually use Sonic Wave, so Queen of Pain can flash farm, of course, with her abilities, but ideally you want to be fighting as often as Queen of Pain. That's where you get your gold, that's where you get your momentum swing. So it's Meepo and then 3 big cores of LGD, and like we said, LGD has the team fight.
Yeah, and they're ready to go high ground. We'll see what DC can do to stop this. The Serpent wards are out. 5 seconds and Mason's back in. How do you enter into this fight as Digital Chaos? They have to be so careful with 11 keeping himself in the back lines, ready to blink in with an RP for the counter initiate.
Man, DC does not really have good deep push. The only thing they really
have
is
they stop this? I mean, Arme's just going to bring them in, ready to fight. Dumu has to grave himself 11. Shadowblade up on the side. They do have vision upon him. Bulba charging it. Gets the done that for him. With the
got 11. Oh, the RP!
Comes out! The Starstorm as well! LGD absolutely destroying Digital Chaos.
There's no buyback either. I bet actually bought the Eagle song.
I mean, if they realize this, they could maybe even go for a finishing note a whole minute without that Meepo.
They're going to heal up.
They're unlikely to know. They're unlikely to know, and they will back off.
Oh my god, they like almost brought him down too. They kind of isolated him. The Spirit Breaker charge comes through, but living with about 100 HP, everyone's
he got it off. We'll see it here again. I mean, how many he quite catches in it.
And it looks like freedom.
All right, and they know he's there. They're pinging him out. Bulba makes a beeline straight for him. But there's not quite the control. He goes for the ultimate, but immediately that silence there. The silence from Victoria stopping the Nether Strike from Bulba meant that the RP was successful. Brilliant play from the Night Stalker. And off the back of that, of course, as we saw there, cleaning up that mid lane, Rax.
You see the relief instantly as soon as he's dying and he's feeling the pressure, then gets the RP off. That's
incredibly
super opportune moment. And that's the first time now we see the Sonic Wave used. That was the first time we see the RP used, and now look at that gold lead. Look at that experience lead.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Digital Chaos. I mean, it was exactly as you mentioned coming into that. Dealing with this sort of pressure this early on, it's not great. You know, Digital Chaos, they want to be the ones making the jump. They want to have the fight starting with Arbed immediately bursting down a couple of LGD's members. But when LGD come down your mid lane like that, drop your wards, make themselves at home in your base, it's very hard to get them out.
I love this by Ame as well, picking up a Blink Dagger now too. So if he isn't in the position to follow up for the RPs, now he always will be. So nighttime, now we have some smoke for smoke action.
They've got to do something with this.
LGD gets the high ground first.
They are on the high ground first indeed, straight away. Bulba does get the charge off on the side. Armani, bring it Dumu in, has the ult back online with Arben. Getting bursted down, Somnus looks towards Bulba now, take it back towards the Meepo. They have running long too. Arben gets critted down to Arben, doing the work on this Chaos Knight. They've taken down 3. RP just comes up, call down 11. Comes in for the cleanup. LGD, team wiping Digital Chaos. And we asked ourselves if they had a plan for this Meepo, and I mean, whatever they're doing, it's certainly working this game, LGD.
Look at the damage done in this fight. 6,600 by CK and 6,000 by Mirana. That's insane at this point. With the Mjolnir picked up so early. 11 was forced to buy back for that cleanup RP, but they're going to get another Rax out of this. Absolutely worth it.
Straining on the top lane. With 3 members down, they're going to have Forever back up in a second, but no Mason. No Arbet for a while. They will get the skill back, and indeed straight away with the stun. They'll burst down for with the Sonic Wave. Now look at the turnaround. Does take down Arme. That's the Chaos Knight gone for 50. If they can find these two as well, this will be a massive hold. Forever will get a second, but still 11 and Victoria, they're too big and strong. Bulba tries to charge in, but 11, he can turn. He'll look to try and fight back. Yao comes in with a quick zap.
And the Raxes are dead already.
They're gone. And GG is called. GG want to reset this, move on to game 2, because game 1, LGD just playing on another level. Absolutely insane start for this LGD.
they didn't really let DC do what they wanted to do with their lineup, is get that Roche, have the Aegis to take fights around the RP with Amiibo and Aegis. And they just didn't allow that to happen. They were just kind of farming around, always checking to make sure that Roche, and then they all kind of grouped up together, even though they don't have this like crazy sustain lineup. They
Radiant team. Their team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Both Void and Troll.
Nice.
Normally Victoria plays the Tusk and the Kunkka, or else I would suggest that they could pick Tusk to try and deal with the BKB Sven, but...
These teams are not afraid to pick up their cores.
This is a combo that we've seen a lot of the games. Actually, we saw Empire pick it twice in the games yesterday against AG. This Sven and Ancient Apparition combo.
Oracle.
Or
LGD
combination now.
Yeah. No, Sven and AA. No.
A is a soft counter to Death Prophet.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that, because Ancient Apparition's ultimate prevents healing, and we've been seeing Death Prophet do really amazing
10 seconds
things, having
remaining.
just enough life to stay alive in those key team fights.
That's the hardest thing about Death Prophet is managing your soul siphons and making sure you land a couple in fights, and then being aware of how much damage or how far you can go into a fight without actually being bursted down.
Both of the LGDs love this combo though, the Kunkka Death Prophet. Like, yeah, AA won't let you heal, but you're actually not going to die too, because Kunkka Boat with Death Prophet is, like, you're going to get a ton of damage from your X.
Especially if you get Oracle ulted, you start soul siphoning people, you're getting double the healing.
And actually, Oracle is quite good against AA as well, because if you actually get the heal after your ultimate, like if AA ultis you and Oracle ultis you afterwards, and the AA ultimate wears off before Oracle's ulti wears off, then you actually get the HP that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh!
So it kind of goes both ways.
Another great thing about Ancient Apparition, we've seen him throughout this tournament be a nice finisher of ganks that have been happening in the early game. He's been a really, really fun hero to watch.
He also provides the team a little bit of vision, being able to launch ultimates all over the map. You can sometimes find little snippets of information about your team, your enemy team's location. Also, the Ice Vortex is a pretty long range, and you can scout inside the Roche pit, or maybe up the hill without actually putting any of your heroes at risk.
Lena. First hero ever played in Dota, so of course, special place in my heart for Robin.
And an affinity for it. Great burst hero. Dealing with Death Prophet is one of the ways to kill her is the burster. You know, she likes to play aggressively. She likes to play on the on the edge. But a Laguna Blade coming in at the right time could kill her while she's being a little too overconfident.
And Lina really works well with the Sven as well to follow up his stun to make sure that they can't get out.
Lots of instant disables with Sven and Sanky from Lina to follow up on.
10 seconds.
At least from just seeing like these 4 picks from each team, I like the way that DC is going to handle the Magnus, because Sven and AA is one of the strongest heroes in the safe lane early on. The Sven stun is actually 2 seconds long, so if AA uses his cold feet and Sven stuns afterwards, the Magnus is going to have to skewer away. And the seed is quite low, so they're going to be able to keep him away from experience and gold.
What's the last pick you want to look for here as DC?
Well, let's find out.
Prophet.
Oh, interesting.
Furion, I think Furion is pretty good here. I think having some treants running throughout the map, scouting for vision is going to be pretty important. I think LGD definitely has a team fight advantage with the 4 heroes they have here. So being able to see what's actually happening and potentially finding this Magnus before the fights take off is going to allow DC to position themselves to win team fights.
5 seconds.
Kunkka's quite good against Prophet, so that is the main problem I see with him.
Yeah.
Like one of the best ones to be able to stop them.
I look at Magnus and Kunkka as being the two initiators for LGD, and I think it's really difficult for them to start fights in that way, especially once DC picks up some BK, like a BKB on Sven or a BKB on Prophet. I think that when LGD goes to initiate, DC is going to jump them, and unless Oracle and Magnus are ready to counter-initiate, don't know how well that fight goes for them.
In that way, the trees helps out really well to be able to scout them out.
Exactly.
The game is a lot about vision, so...
Yeah, and when two teams have a ton of team fight, it's more so about how you pick the fight rather than who's actually stronger. The last pick, Anti-Mage.
That is a different turn of strategy from what I expected with the DP and Magnus, but...
Everybody likes Sven up against Anti-Mage. A ton of physical damage coming out from Sven with his ultimate is... You can actually burst down Anti-Mage pretty easily, so Yao's going to be really on top of this game and very selective with the Oracle ultimates he throws out.
I think Mag AM is a different story though. It's Mag AM versus Sven. I think AM has the advantage.
It's going to be a very interesting game with the last pick, Anti-Mage, as Anti-Mage can sometimes turn into the final boss of the game with his ability to accumulate so much farm. It's time to head into game number 2, where DC is 1 game away from elimination and LGD is 1 game away from top 8.
Thank you very much, Day9. And indeed, here we go, game 2. We're seeing something a little different from both sides, mainly from DC, coming in with something a bit different as the panel say, getting Mason back on sort of his Sven, having this AA follow-up, but this lineup, I'll tell you what, from LGD, they've you know what I mean?
We've got two very...
They've got Death Prophet, Oracle, they have, again, you know, Magnus performance, game 1, 11 blew us away.
Patience from Zoe.
It's not going to be a walk in the park at all for DC. This is going to be tough.
This is definitely going to be a hard one. Both teams, though, having pretty comfortable lineups that they're used to playing with. LGD has some of their absolute signature heroes, like we were talking about, the Kunkka, the Mag, Death Prophet. These are the big three that they've been playing a lot, and then we throw back to DC. Same kind of similar scenario with Bolvan the Sand King, Forev playing that Nature's Prophet. This Anti-Mage pick, though, the last pick Anti-Mage is massive in this game, because now it's really the Sven versus the world. Can Sven be able to match up versus this? It's a lot up to the early game. They're very magic damage oriented besides that Sven. And Anti-Mage, incredibly good versus Nature's Prophet and Lina. These two high mana pool heroes that can be very susceptible to that mana void. And like Merlini talked about, when it's Anti-Mage versus Sven, Sven wins out. But when it's Anti-Mage plus a Magnus, that's a completely different story, how fast you enable him. And then you can actually kind of take fights away from the Anti-Mage for a bit because of the other 4 heroes that they have, the Kunkka, the Mag, the Death Prophet. These guys can force aggression, they can force objectives.
Yeah, a lot of eyes towards Mason to see how hard he can carry this game.
A lot of execution things coming into play though. Like Ake mentioned, with the Oracle ultimate being able to be used with versus AA, you have to time it pretty well to get that heal burst while the AA blast is wearing off. And that's probably Sven can be sometimes a little bit complicated too, because the Warcry is very good versus the Exorcism. So it's all about like how these fights actually start and who gets blown up and how well they're able to actually use the Oracle for the Fortunes and or for the False Prophets.
Interesting to see how this mid lane goes to begin with. Both Dubu and Victoria to back up their respective partners mid lane. See if they hang around.
Let's see how either of these the safe lanes pair off. Is the Mag, is Levin going to be able to get away with it again and get a ton of experience? Is he going to be able to get all those blasts like he has been? We'll find out. Forev should be able to get a good amount more here with the help of Volba at the start. They're going to have those pesky treants plus a Sand King in the vicinity. While Victoria just tries to annoy Abed as we kind of expect him to do. He's been playing around the mid lane a lot in the first minute or so in the majority of their games.
Yeah, obviously just trying to keep him on toes when he wants to come in with the torrent spam and such. And that Abed. And maybe in this mid lane it should be a bit of an even trade in terms of farm. Of course, both have.
He's got to watch the
torrent. There is the connection. Siphon coming in. Not enough to get the kill, but a lot of harassment. And yes, exactly as you said. You know, if Victoria hits these random torrents, there's definitely potential to bully Abed out of this lane when he's alone.
Especially when Victoria hits level 2. If they hit the far torrent and then he walks up and is able to close the gap and get an X mark off, X mark plus Spirit Siphon, Abed will drop pretty easily if he's a little bit lower than full health. If he's full health, I think he can still survive for the first few levels.
Up top 11, he will certainly be a little bit more careful than he he was game 1.
Doing damn well, though.
He is still finding quite a bit of it. He's got this nice wave coming down towards him. We'll see if Dubu can maintain control of this top lane with the side pulls and such. Begins to make them.
Pretty impressive because he actually got the initial part of the game. He actually skewers back Mace into the tower to put some damage on him just to be annoying. In the initial part of the lane, he got the rage creep in front. Although Mason did also get denied a little bit afterwards, he was able to get that lane pressure coming out toward him. So level 3 already on that off-lane mag, where you could expect him to pretty much be fully shut down from the AA Sven combo. As Ake was mentioning, it's a very hard lane to actually go up against with that hard stun plus the peak.
Lane still quite far better, maybe. Standing toe-to-toe. Turned into a true 1v1 now, but Victoria setting attention back towards the bottom lane.
Yeah, Ame suffering a bit in last hits. 6-1. You have to make sure that they keep him online. Death Prophet now got a head start. Should be able to keep that head start going. Now it's time to help the anti-mage. He is the real full win lineup of DC.
Yeah, Forever certainly having a good time down here. Nearly has the phase boots complete. LGD really trying their best. They've got a lot of catch, of course, between these two supports. Just there's a few levels, they've got a bit of nuke damage potential as well.
DC already has a massive stack up at their hard camp. 30, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4x stacked up for the Sven once he gets level 6. So that can be something nice to get the AA up faster level 6 online with the Sven leaving that down, or Sven doing the neutral while AA just saps the lane, something along those lines. And now Boba trying to maximize. This is a good move. They forced a lot of aggression onto the anti-mage. They probably expected the Kunkka to make those rotations. They actually see him as well with that ward they placed on the river. So as soon as he makes the move away, Boba's like, okay, I can at least get a bit more farm before she will just find down bottom now.
Yeah, they need to shove this anti-mage down as hard as they can.
Phase boots already on Forever. So
yeah, this is going to get scary if this happens.
I'm struggling.
We know that there's definitely going to be the potential for him to have that real spike in farming potential once he has the Empower buff. And at least that battle free treads whichever he pushes to finish first. So we're in good stand. Neutral creeps in the jungle. Get that catch-up farm.
Victoria has Dubu being caught out. They can't ignore it, doesn't even need it. Maybe just walks up to see for his blood, or maybe.
Very nicely set it there for maybe.
Victoria was actually hiding in the Roche pit to wait for the rune spawn, and Dubu just didn't really expect that. Didn't even need to connect the torrent.
Look at this down bottom. Ame totally being bullied back here. He's only down to the last shared tango. Of course, I have the Oracle that he can rely on a little bit to help heal him up, but levels still aren't quite there. Boba
making a nighttime smoke right now.
They might be able to get the catch onto mid. Depends how far we see Somnus maybe come out.
Got a lot of damage here.
He's playing very safe with his position. On the edge. They've got a lot of stuns, a lot of control. There will be the TP in as well. Fox Forever making sure that this is a guaranteed kill, and indeed it is. Successful rotation there from Bulba and Dubu. Nicely done.
They gotta make all those work. Or if he's down the bottom lane now, Ame gets the lane to catch back up. And during all that, it's 11. You know, we talked about the mag from the last game getting a pretty free lane. It's happening again. They are shutting down the anti-mage, but the mag was one of the big issues in the last one. He is coming off to a great start in this already.
And even these little items, now that Ame has the Pullman Shield and the Ring of Health, that's enough to sort of help withstand the harassment that comes his way. And
yeah.
In fact, as it is for Ev, he's taking the long walk back to the bottom lane, so it's still a lot of time that Ame's getting that lane opened up, top lane. Trying to make the connection there on Told 11, but he did get the skew out in time.
Okay, I think he actually knows there's a ward there too. The stun distance, he felt like he was out of distance. He actually pings it out, so we might see that being de-warded. Hurt DC's early vision for sure. LGD now with the smoke. They're set up. It seems very aware of this. Look how far position is on the right side.
We've got a decent amount of catch there with the 2 points in the X mark. They may just go for Bulba instead, as they have him coming up to the high ground. They'll go for the Sandstorm, but of course they've got the Torrent to cancel the channeling. Somnus maybe coming in as well. Cypher's there. Bulba does have the Forest Strike. Will go for the high ground. Tries for the Quick Swarm connection, but it's not going to quite be there as Bulba will get himself out to safety. The lane now opened up a little bit for Somnus with this aggression and rotation from his two supports, Yao and Victoria. You can see the Death Prophet take the lead at the moment for the net worth. Still definitely the biggest discrepancy being that between the two safe laners, Mason. Obviously having the better time in this opening laning stage in comparison to Arme.
Yeah. Let's see how the supports are doing at maximizing. We actually have every single support in the game is looking. So everyone's kind of suffering with the rotations. Victoria gets the connection on the base of the X2.
They brought the Death Prophet around. They do have Exorcism ready to go. Somnus says, we're going to fight it, boys, forever. We'll tilt you across. Volvo with the Burrow Struck to hold back, maybe. Mason pops the Godrank, trying to man up the damage. This Death Prophet's too strong. Takes down one, takes down two. They're not even done yet. Maybe they can look towards Volvo as well. 11 kind of skewers Volvo away, though.
Body blocking.
Now allowing the Cypher to reconnect.
The blocks.
They're coming in for more. This Death Prophet having the absolute rotation of a life. 7.5 minutes, Somnus coming in and picking up a triple kill.
And they're going to clean up the 4 stacks that we were talking about earlier. The whole thing, all the big creeps goes for LGD.
What a rotation there. Could not have happened at a better time.
Now they've got the Shrine up as well, so full heal back up 11. Level 7 mag with Arcane Boots and Soul Ring are ready. That's pretty scary. The two big team fighters are absolutely online. That off-lane Magnus, top 2 in network.
Whilst this is going on at the top, of course, all the more space for Arme. Slowly climbing his way back in, getting the solo XP. And now not doing too bad at all in terms of the smaller early items. We are going to see DC try and make a move immediately out of the base, smoke from Bulba and Dubu. Arbed now with the level 6 ready and waiting. A kill onto Somnus will be pretty big at this stage. Off the back of him being fattened up by that triple kill.
Though they have the Oracle.
And in fact, the Torrent's connecting onto Arbed. It's going to be LGD going in first, Arbed. He's going to try and get his way out of it with the light strike, trying to play it out. Victoria looking to see how he can react, but already there's the wraparound coming through. DC. They will catch and shut down the Death Prophet.
Yeah,
they can get more. Still with this haste room, finds the connection with the light strike and DC. They'll get a couple out of this one.
Don't know if they actually saw the haste rune in the bottle. It seemed like with the way that they made that aggressive move. They actually had Yao behind them too. It looked like he hesitated a bit on the Fates Edict. Would have almost been able to block the Living Rune and maybe the sinking stun damage. Could have potentially turned that fight, but just a bit out of range and just a little bit unexpected the DC rotation. Now they're able to get a lot of tower pressure here. Should be able to bring it down as well. So LGD does have to make sure now when they're playing versus DC is to play around their ultimate time. Unless they can get an AA right here.
Victoria looking for the catch here. Dubu does still have Bulba in the neighborhood. They may not even be able to get him. Going to continue to back up. Okay, with that torrent at the side, and they'll certainly finish it off. The rest of DC out of there. Somnus comes back into the lane, picks up a free kill. Top lane 11 now. This maxed out Shockwave doing a good job of trying to harass Mason back.
I'm curious if he's gonna go for the Battle Fury since they have the Mag and power. I was wondering if he's gonna go for Vanguard. He actually now queues up the Lincolns first. So I wanted to deal with that, those heavy stuns that DC does have. Just that stat bonus as well. The nice thing about having a Mag, don't have to go for that Battle Fury to have that stat advantage.
Yeah, having the Lincoln certainly going to give him enough regen to hop around the jungle.
They've got a ward behind the tower. They're looking for 4F here.
Quite a nice catch.
Something's up though.
Albert as well. Close by in the jungle.
How to handle such power.
Indeed, LGD not to catch anyone there with that movement.
But an Arcane Rune bottom, and they have DP OP up. This could be where they just try to force the tower with this.
Unlikely to see any sort of reaction from DC as this bottom lane's pushed in. Dubu on at the moment up top, trying to find its level 6. He's only touching on level 5 at the moment.
They're trying to make the trade before it just goes top. They have a catapult wave coming in, it's 10-minute mark. Put a good amount of pressure. That being said though, it is a mag who's level 10. So Max Shockwave is online, plus the talent with that spell amplification.
And they look like they get to do a decent job of holding it. I mean, Bulba is there on the side. Let's see if any further TPs come in from LGD. They've got the fortification. The actual, their side, they're staying down bottom. They're looking to put some pressure now onto the tier 2 as well. Now the TPs come through from Digital Chaos. They're coming from the side as well from the Shrine Bulba. Seeing if he can get some sort of a setup. Comes in with the Burrow Strike. And then in return, I mean, Bulba could get turned, but he gets silenced. There's Mason, looking for the stun, finds it onto Somnus. With the Siphon already out on Bulba, they know that there's too much survivability on this Death Prophet for those two alone to come in.
LGD wants their 2 supports to hit level 6 before they try to make anything too crazy happen. Having that boat online plus the Fortune's End will make their fight, will make the Death Prophet super hard to bring down and gives them a lot more damage. Right now, it's most of their damage is coming just from that Death Prophet. So quietly, slowly but surely, look at the networks. They're pretty even on 3 cores, but 11 is the big one where it's just like, this is the off-lane mag. He's already level 11, almost level 12 at the 12-minute mark. He's going to have Blink Dagger at the, it seems like an even earlier time in the last game.
This is truly terrifying. And we know, we saw how well LGD can play around having that RP available, you know, shutting down games within 22 minutes. See if they can get the ball wrong this time round, and they definitely have the tools to do so. Having this Death Prophet in their lineup, having the Exorcism back online, Will Scepter done as well, LGD wanting to make use of this. But it was underneath and around that ward, so we'll see how DC prepare for this one.
There's still no boat online, so it's 12 minutes, Kunkka's only level 4, but Oracle is 6 now for the saves. And with the Yule Scepter pickup, they actually might just find Mason.
They might do indeed. Mason caught in the jungle, will turn with the stun with the X-Mark into the torrent. It's going to be on point, pops the war cry, it's not enough to keep him alive. Mason caught out in the jungle, LGD.
The dream pick-off right there. Abed now looking to try to pressure that bottom tower. Do something with the space that was given while Mason's dead. And LGD won't be able to capitalize on pressuring the top tower off of that since the Wrath of Ninja would deploy to push the lanes out. 4F. Try to slow it, hold that push a bit, but now they're wrapping behind mid. Dude, might be the culprit here.
Almost certainly going to get spotted out. His Somnus continues to move.
Just saw them. They just showed them.
Get out of there.
Victorious seeing to get the X-Mark, but indeed Dubu gets himself back up to the high ground. Does have that Ice Blast ready to go. Bulba. Level 6 at the moment on the Sand King. To put the point into the ult. The 3-3 at the moment.
DC doesn't have great ways to start the fight, while now LGD has multiple ways. With that Magnus Blink Dagger and with the X that we previously stated, it makes it easier for them to get those catches from DC. There's no Blink Dagger on Sand King, and Mason is also still about 1,000 gold too from that Blink. So no way for them to just get on top of LGD and force differentiation. And during all this, they pull some more heroes mid from LGD, while Ame just slowly but surely accelerates with that power. The downtime definitely benefits LGD during this.
They very nearly have the ultimate orb on Ame towards that Lincoln Sphere. Saying earlier, once that's there, he's going to feel very confident jumping into the fight. The God Strength trying to speed up his farm. He needs to do something indeed, as we can still see the 3 individuals of LGD, the highest in net worth at the moment.
I'll take your
Mason just scraping behind that Death Prophet.
Look at how the supports are playing on LGD though. They are literally not moving from maybe side. It's pretty hard for them to bring down the anti-mage at this point. So tanking it, they have to pretty much get all the stuff.
Oh, they will get the wrap around it straight away with the Ice Blast going on, so maybe he does have to self-heal, but he falls down low and he gets taken out. The Dragon Slaves enough. You see, perfect. That is a big pick indeed. Have that Death Prophet.
Leads into an objective as well. Close for DC here.
Alleviates the threat of potential pressure. LGD as well, making sure that is off the map for 15 seconds. But that's hold 11 and at least DC. They'll get away with taking this tier 2 for now.
So instead of going Lincolns, picks up his own Battle Fury. Change his mind.
Change of plan.
He wants to be, it's the way that the pace is, like he's just playing completely away from the Magnus. He doesn't want Magnus to cross the map and keep having to empower him. So having your own Battle Fury have its own benefits.
I mean, maybe, you know, as you say, LGD themselves realize, well, we can absolutely just play the farm game. And of course, having the Battle Fury and Empower is insanely ridiculous. Having almost what's out to be this, what, 100% cleave or very close to. It's incredibly close. How fast they can get around the map, clean up these camps, and very little chance that Mason can catch up purely by farming neutrals. They've got to find that. They've got to find Bison. In fact, bottom lane, they're looking for it. Bulba leads in. Ice Blast will be flying through. False Promise out just in time, but this is going to be a lot of dark damage out to Somnus.
He is very
definitely got too much damage being built up, and he will pop. LGD lose 2. DC doing exactly what they need, getting involved. They'll get the courier as well, as also picking up Victoria.
Getting 3 there.
Absolutely perfect. They know that they can't play the farm game against this empowered Battle Fury anti-mage. They have to look for these fights, get Mason involved, and that's exactly what they've done.
Yeah, Mason picking up that Blink Dagger first instead of going for those other types of farm items. It's really important for them to keep that pressure going. He knows that Bulba wasn't getting it too early, so he made the judgment call of going for it. Bulba getting that nice stun as we see, and with them just completely outnumbering, and you can see LGD is nowhere in the vicinity to help this.
Absolutely not. They get the false promise out. As we say, no amount of siphoning is going to offset the damage coming through from these cores on DC. Big fight there for Digital Chaos. Getting some of this momentum that they struggled to find in game one.
They need to get those pickoffs. Like that one was perfect too. RP is up, so it's a risky kind of play, but they were aware of where those heroes can capitalize on very quickly. These moves need to happen super fast. That's the nice thing about having the Lina, having the Luna, and having those burst heroes.
Still though, as we can see, Arme, the anti-mage at the top. He's not involved in that last play, keeping himself well ahead of the pack. Counter style next up.
And his, we touched on it slightly during the beginning of the game, but him matching up during this versus the Sven doesn't match up incredibly well, of course, unless you're very far ahead. But versus Lina and Prophet,
Shadow Blade on 11 as well, so more catch potential for LGD if they want to try and look for these fights.
He's so farmed. He's more farmed than his death prop. 150 CS on that off-lane mag. Pretty ridiculous.
See what they can get done here. DC grouping up as 4 towards the top. They're actually going to bring in Arbed as well, so the full lineup up on this top lane. I mean, a DC at a point where they can simply 5-man and start to take these tier 2s down?
No, it's still scary. Like, you have the threat of the Blink Dagger versus the mag, and there's still the Kunkka Bow. That's the thing that we haven't really gotten to see because Victoria was very under level. He didn't get level 6 until a couple minutes ago, about 3-4 minutes ago. And now it looks like they're trying to make some action happen, perhaps.
Radiant's top tower is under
And have all gathered, but now they're very afraid. They don't see anybody from the side of DC. They have very aggressive teamwork, so they know something's going on right now. All sticking together, very close around. 11, gonna step up with that Shadow Blade, go for some scout. DC now has 2 ways to start the fight with the Blink Dagger. DC wants to farm that BKB on side.
He's relatively
Next step.
close, isn't he, Mason? Yeah.
It's getting close, yeah. Abed also finished up the Bloodstone, so that'll help. If they can give him a fast amount of Bloodstone charges, that's one of the okay ways to make sure that your mana doesn't get burned too fast from Anti-Mage. If you have a crazy amount of charges, just regen it too quickly.
You see overall, the actual overall network hopping between the two sides is they're pretty much bang on this midpoint.
Now LGD's looking to make the fight happen. Picked up the Soul Booster and the Death Prophet, more HP, feeling a little bit squishy, but they wanted to take that fight.
1 RP, and we know the incredible amount of destruction and power that can follow through from LGD's lineup. If 11 gets that initiation.
Dude draws a circle around all of LGD's heroes. Whatever's happening, maybe shows himself, starts threatening the tower with Exorcism. They are in the vicinity. They continue the split push with Forev and Abed. Still not wanting to really take a head on fight just yet when they don't have that BKB on time.
This will be a free tier 2.
Once the Exorcism's down, they could consider it. There's a lot of Exorcisms down. Still a bit scary fighting into LGD's RP with the boat on top.
And LGD themselves, they have the potential to go up to tier 2 on the top lane and take more if they wish. DC backing up in this bottom lane as soon as Arme shows his face.
Getting too big. 13,000 net worth compared to the 9,000 of the Sven.
Even if they lock him down and get Mason's hands on him at this stage, still almost certainly going to be the chance for him to escape. Especially considering the backup, the lineup that Arme has around him.
Arme's going for the Aghanim's. Next up item, it looks like. Picks up the point booster. Great spells to reflect this game. All those different stuns and disables that are coming out, even the Orchid from Forev. Does have the Manta style to remove that, but in case it does come out, it's have the benefit of the Ags if he gets it. So this ward by DC is very good that they place in their defensive jungle. It's a very natural ward that you see placed versus anti-mages and versus these heavy farming heroes. You always want to, he's going to eventually go into your jungle, just how mobile and how fast he does farm. He will get into your jungle. He's watching that. Very important. Pace slows down quite a lot from 6 to 8 in 21 minutes.
And as you say, you've really got to feel that this is definitely LGD being happier with this sort of passiveness.
Yeah.
With that, just the speed that this anti-mage is climbing.
Yeah, the Death Prophet's not farming a crazy amount, but he's not the one that he matters, but he's not. Oh, the RP actually off the mark. The Blink Dagger pickup from Abed, able to juke it out. The unexpected Blink.
Now DC, they're going to try and do something off the back of that with RP. Smoking up Bulba to the high ground. They could look for Roche. This is also definitely an opportunity with no RP available.
They know this is going on though. They were picking it out. They look like they want to try to make an engagement with no RP. It's very tough, and Mora has been scouting non-stop with those screens.
Yeah, smart move here from DC. See, there's no RP. They know that they necessarily can't take a fight because of one RP being down, but they can certainly look for an objective like that. Grabbing the Aegis, getting it into the hands of Mason.
They see Abed is not enough Aegis, but they want to try to make it go on 11.
He can get a lot of trouble there. Look for the setup. Abed will be gone on jumping and kills himself immediately. Knows that there's no escape. Other than taking himself out, he will be down for just the 10 seconds.
But that is 12 threat plus limit those get dropped down. They have the Aegis, they don't expect that to LGD. And during all this now too, he still continues to farm. Almost the Aghanim's finished up, 200 gold away.
Yeah, it's gonna be so hard to catch him.
Yeah.
Once that axe is on.
He's already super hard to bring down. Still, the two supports from LGD are playing very safe though. They're not trying to make these risky plays. If you watch a lot of teams, they might go for more typical pickups. They're understanding what the nature of their lineup is. They're sitting either 2 heroes behind the Death Prophet or 2 heroes behind the Anti-Mage in the majority of the times.
The seeds
Not only
of
do they have this axe now done on Arme, they're looking to get the Lotus Orb out on 11. So another way that they can make sure that this anti-mage has full control during these team fights.
Sentry Ward gets placed down, 11 actually walks up, he's gonna get brought down.
Yeah, they find that even though the silence comes down to them, the God Strength's already there. DC, can they get more out of this though? They'll move down this top lane, they should be able to find a tier 2. No Magnus for 45 seconds. That's quite an opening for DC to use. They go for anything else, they do still have the Aegis on Mason, with seconds left on God Strength. And they're going to try and push it even further.
Abe is going to trade though. He's going to go right up onto the high ground, and he hits pretty darn hard on those towers right now. They have to back up.
Meg actually going straight in. He's just bursting down the cooker. Something trying to deliver the ice blast is there. False Promise comes out just in time. Maybe taking a lot of damage.
The split push. Ame's getting the tier 3 right now.
Yeah, that's one tower down in the mid lane. DC on the TP back. Dubu will make it. And the rest of them though, Light Strike trying to hold back the side of LGD. They've found Bulba in the sideline. The Ghost's still out. They'll get the Sand King at least. And the rest of DC do escape. But as you say, DC, they do not get the tier 3, whereas LGD, having Arme clearing out that mid. This anti-mage, we've talked about it getting out of hand, and it really feels like, Fog, what is their answer to this anti-mage? How do they deal with him, whether it be him turning up to a fight, whether it be going split push plays? He just seems a fair few steps ahead of what DC can offer in this game at the moment.
Yeah, they have to pretty much chain lock him down and hope that there's no Oracle there to save him, but Ame's not playing in the fights. He doesn't need to still. He's just like, okay, I'm going to farm until I have my Abyssal Blade, and that's when I can actually just blink on top of Sven and deal with him, or just blink on top of Lina at burst or instantly. Once that Basher Abyssal Blade up, oh man, this could be a big RP.
He's got up here as well, he's eyeing it up. Won't go for it on Abed.
A little bit of hesitation. Wrath of Nature comes out. They're trying to get onto 11 here, but what's the distance? So the solutions are going to have to be chain locking down that anti-mage somehow, maybe going for a sheep stick on somebody later on to deal with that, but there is that Aghanims, so it can be super annoying. You can hex yourself.
I mean, Arme's
a lot of
got
ways to save it.
Basher complete as well now.
Yeah, 6,000 ahead of Sven.
Absolutely incredible. Mason really needs that next big item or two to be able to stand toe-to-toe in the fights. He's working towards the Assault Cuirass.
I'll take all tribute.
But it really is going to be so difficult for DC to just find that chance to do something around the anti-mage.
Power and power and power. Still racking up gold. LGD probably waiting for that Aegis to tick out. He's got about 1 more minute left on it, and they can take a big straight up 5v5 fight. Not really be too concerned. Maybe wanting to pick up a gem of their own could be the next investment.
Do you see him under this ward? They want to try and make the jump. Bulba coming in and has the dust straight away with the Stormhammer, Ice Blast, everything coming through, and let's go. Nice. Quick reactions there from DC as soon as the Magnus came under their vision.
Yeah, LGD destroyed one of the wards, but the secondary ward gets placed down. And
Look at this again. Who's on the split push? Army's ready to start bringing them back. We'll see how much damage they...
Mason goes in.
Mason, he's got straight in with the stun.
Besides Laguna with the Yules.
Can they actually bring him down? He's got the bomb promising us now. Coming in with the RP onto Ahmed. Barrett does kill off the Oracle on the back of it all, but they've lost the Aegis on Mason. Volvo being forced back. There's the ult from Arme to burst down.
Oh, and they get Mason.
And they bring him back as well. The PKB not going to save Mason as he's down as well. Arme with a triple kill.
Absolutely devastating.
It really feels like the draft, that final pick, anti-mage, absolutely genius here from LGD.
He's crushing it. Maybe also there gets the Yules off as the Laguna Blade is coming off, ends up surviving, gets Oracle ulted, and then beautiful RP follow-up from 11. Absolutely perfectly synchronized.
We see it again here.
Boba even stuns the Oracle as the fight goes on, so he tries to make sure that there's no save there, but yeah, maybe gets that Yules off, and then 11 gets the RP onto him, and then Ahmed with the follow-up. There's just no way that DC can take the fight after that.
Yeah, we saw, with this Sven being, there he is, Mason, he can offer a little bit with the God Strength, but as soon as that ult's gone, there is nothing that he can do against these beefy cores of LGD, and LGD straight down the mid lane. Looking to take the rack, they do have the fortification, 15 seconds for the Sven's back, the Tyler's immediate back, Boba jumping in, they've got the ice box as well, but Ahmed trying to finish up Boba, Boba does get himself out to the side, still alive for the time being, finally goes down, Grip Swarm there from Maybe to bring him down. LGD will find the mid melee racks.
Oh man, he's got Abyssal Blade now. This is
28 minutes in, Arme's anti-mage farming out of this world.
Yeah, he's got 410 CS, Owen, at 28 minutes. Almost 14 CS per minute right now.
Absolutely crazy. I mean, LGD, as we said at the start, the lineup, this draft that they have, it looked terrifying on paper, and in this first 30 minutes of this game, it's looking to be exactly as we expected. LGD with very little flaws in their execution. They've kept all tier 3s alive. They've managed to close in on this mid lane, and they have this anti-mage nearly 10,000 net worth ahead of Mason's Sven.
Yeah, it's really nice that they have, the Death Prophet Crypt Swarm plus the Magnus way for them to stall it. They do try to make it go here.
The ice block, they do have the stun, but again, the false promise is there. He has the self-fuel, trying to get himself out. This should be enough damage, but 11 comes in with a 3-man RP.
And the
comes the shot. Triple kill for Arme. Mason wants the BKB, tries to tap with the heels, bringing
Baby's alive.
back up to full line. Barber looking to get off the epicenter, he does, but he's down. Arme gets the ultra, he's looking for the rampage, but Barrett sprouts it back, looking to TP out.
They get the silence. He's gone for the rampage.
Can he get the rampage? He can! Arme playing out of his mind, the team around him going absolutely insane. LGD 14,000 net worth lead. They're ready to close in on this top lane.
That team fight execution, literally perfect. Maybe gets false promised, gets the Yules off, gets full healed in the fight while the RP comes out with the boat follow-up.
Such beautiful synergy just between all of the heroes on LGD's lineup. Look at this attempt. They go in, but straight away, the Yules is there, the stun's purged off, and bam. They look at
with the Fate's Edict as it comes on. The Fate's Edict eats the Laguna, so no damage.
An 11 with that positioning, perfect RP into the shark there from Victoria.
And then typical AM contribution. Walks in, man avoids, gets 3 kills.
Easy rampage for Arme, level 25. Pushing on this top lane, they'll have Mason back up in 5 seconds, Barrett as well. And a few more. But this top Rex is almost certainly going to be on Boba. Leading in, they do have to look at the ice block. That's 11 down. But the melee Rex are already gone on this top lane. DC will not be able to hold on to those. DC, can they turn this around? What is the ideal situation, Bob? For DC?
I'm not seeing too many options for them, to be honest. He is way too massive. He's gonna have that AC finished up too to deal with the physical damage that would be there to maybe bring him down, but level 25 already, almost 3,000 life on this anti-mage. Look at DC's damage output, they can't kill that. They have to have everything land on him perfectly to bring it down, but there's an Oracle, there's a Kunkka, and then if you do, there's still the Death Prophet that's there, who's not a force to be reckoned with either. Shiva's about to be picked up, 23 charged Bloodstone. An absolute menace.
So there are a PPM at the moment, nearly reaching the 900. this stage of the game. DC
trying to do the desperate move here, but it gets scouted out by an illusion. They've got to bail.
This is so scary. They know that there's no Magnus for 20 seconds, but LGD will almost certainly be prepared to fight without that. They're going to self-X the Death Prophet, leading up forward. She will be jumped upon. Ice Blast thrown back. Won't quite find the connection, but DC are making the space to finish this off. Now they're coming back in. Ice Blast passes across. Maybe can he get in the pin in time? No, he can't. They will get it. They get the line strike there onto the anti-mage. You see Mason have a couple of tickles onto Arme, but DC, they're losing 3. Mason's trying to get himself out the
but the X.
It's already been used. He's going to get X back. He has the war cry.
They've got the catch.
But they're chasing in from the side. Maybe wraps in. They've got the control. They'll burst through the Aegis immediately. And they're ready for round 2. GG is full. LGD knocking Digital Chaos out of the tournament 2-0. 11 with an RP of celebration. Performance. This team, I mean, out of all of the sides that we've seen in the upper bracket and such, people, they may have kind of been sleeping on this LGD team, but bam, they've shown us that these guys are incredible.
It's just that
Absolutely
that Magnus, how much farm he actually does get, the threat of the RP, that empower, the high level empower, just allowing Ame to farm all over the map while maybe and the other 4 pressure.